evening. My name is Brian Walmsley, and I'm honored and privileged to serve as the superintendent for Richmond Community Schools for the past 11 years. Tonight's event, like so many others, is made possible by the brave men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice and are serving in our armed forces today to allow us this freedom. At Richmond Community Schools, over 1,700 students begin each day by saying, honoring our nation. I invite you to join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I prepared for tonight's State of the District, I reflected on a promise I made over a decade ago. On July 21st, 2014, in the Media Center at Richmond High School, I stood before the Board of Education and submitted my 30-60 90-day entry plan. A plan that made a commitment to leadership growth and progress for our district. I pledge to empower our district, foster a culture of innovation and continuous improvement, and to ensure that every decision that we make prioritizes student success. That commitment remains strong today as it did when I first made it. Through collaboration, perseverance, and a shared vision, we have worked together to move Richmond Community Schools forward, equipping our students with knowledge, skills, and opportunities to thrive beyond high school. As we look ahead, we continue to build on the foundation, striving for excellence in education and a future where every child is prepared for success. From the beginning, my goal was never to lead a system of schools, but rather a school system. One built on self-reflection, continuous improvement, and a guaranteed learning for all students. Tonight, in the time that we have together, I will share how Richmond Community Schools has evolved into a reflective, student-focused organization, one that is more committed than ever to the values that we empower in our district. While recognizing there is always room for improvement, for growth, we must also celebrate our successes. As individuals, as a school system, and as a community, we take pride in how far we've come and remain excited for where we're headed. Together, we are building a brighter future for our students and generations to come. Before I begin, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to the Richmond Board of Education. Thank you for your unwavering support and dedication to all students, staff, and families of Richmond Community Schools. Your commitment has allowed the Richmond team to think boldly, challenge the status quo, and take meaningful risks that drive innovation and create learning environments where all students thrive. I'd also like to send my sincere appreciation to the elected officials that represent our area from the City of Richmond and the townships of Casco, Columbus, Lenox, and Richmond Township. A heartfelt thanks goes out to our representatives from our religious organizations, service groups, and first responders. Your service, your dedication to service and protection and uplifting others forms the foundation for a compassionate and thriving community. I'd like to thank our staff that's here tonight, our community members. In these challenging times, our success depends on working together and embracing challenges and always keeping students first. And finally, I'd like to thank our parents and guardians who have chosen Richmond Community Schools to educate your children. Thank you. We know that selecting the right educational path for your child is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. The trust you place in us is a profound responsibility and the one that we do not take lightly. Every day, we embrace the privilege and challenges of nurturing, guiding, and inspiring our students. We are committed to honoring your trust by providing a safe, supportive, and enriching environment where all students can learn, grow, and thrive. This evening, I will provide you an overview of 4 key areas that define and represent the the present and future of Richmond Community Schools. We're going to focus on student achievement and academic growth. We're going to touch on student enrollment and state funding, fiscal management responsibility, and our future challenges and opportunities. The data I share with you tonight comes from multiple reliable sources: Michigan School Data, our district student information system, our financial and personnel management systems, and insights from other organizations such as Southeast Michigan Council of Governments and the Michigan Alliance for Student Opportunities. Additionally, tonight's presentation will be recorded by Richmond TV, led by Jason Robbins and the TV production staff. The recording will be available on our website after the event. In today's world, we all can pretty much identify this, misinformation can be spread pretty quickly, so transparency is more important than ever. At Richmond Community Schools, we take great pride in fostering open communication and providing, with our community, and providing accurate, reliable information. That's why we offer resources like the Just Ask website, ensuring that everyone's questions can be answered and get a clear, honest answer. As you leave here tonight, my hope is that you're going to walk away with a deeper understanding of our district, a greater sense of pride in our district, and confidence that the state of Richmond Community Schools is strong. Together, we are moving forward, committed to excellence, opportunities, and success for all students. And when I say all students, I truly mean all students. Let's talk about student achievement and academic growth. Much like the stock market, academic performance experiences natural ups and downs. Every year brings new students, new expectations, and rising standards. Just as investors focus on long-term gains, we must prioritize long-term academic growth. Our focus remains clear: innovate, adapt, and provide every student with opportunities and the support they need to succeed. By fostering a culture of excellence and continuous improvement, we ensure that Richmond Community Schools is preparing our students not for the next test, but for lifelong success. State assessments are more than just tests. They are valuable tools that measure student learning and academic progress and instructional effectiveness. They provide us a snapshot of student achievement, helping educators identify strengths and areas of growth and trends over time. While assessments are only one measure, they play a critical role in ensuring that all students have the support resources they need. The data from these assessments, again, is not about the numbers. It's about improvement and opportunities. Richmond uses our data to refine our curriculum, as you've seen over the last several years, adjust our instructional strategies, and provide targeted interventions for that continuous growth. When MSTEP English Language Arts and the SAT evidence-based reading and writing assessments are averaged together, Richmond students outperform peers in Macomb County, the greater Detroit area, and the state of Michigan in general. A notable peak in the performance highlights the strong foundation of literacy. Despite some fluctuations, the long-term trend remains positive, showcasing our district's commitment to student growth and achievement. While Richmond continues to excel, there is always room for improvement. Literacy is an essential lifelong goal for our students and success, and we remain dedicated to that goal, expanding support systems and a love for reading. When MSTEP mathematics and SAT assessments are combined and averaged together, Richmond students consistently, again, outperform Macomb County in general and greater Detroit and Michigan. The sharp increase in proficiency over the last several years demonstrates effective instructional strategies, student perseverance, and our educators dedicated to building a strong foundation in mathematics. While the trajectory is overall positive, we do have natural fluctuations each year with proficiency rates. And the continued innovation and targeted intervention is what's going to help us support our students. Let's look at science scores. When you combine all the science scores in the district on a given year, the assessments again average Richmond continually outperform Macomb County, Greater Detroit area, and Michigan. The strong upward trend reflects the district's commitment to the principles of STEM education, again supported by our dedicated educators, hands-on learning experience, and innovative teaching strategies. While these gains are impressive, there is a lot of room for improvement. Challenging our own self and our thoughts, expanding our opportunities for student success. Social studies. When you average these assessments together, again, Richmond continually outpaces the peers in Macomb County and the Greater Detroit area, as well as the state of Michigan. Again, there has been fluctuations. The recent upward trends, again, is a renewal momentum in student achievement in the social studies aspect. Social studies is essential for developing informed, engaged citizens and future leaders. And we are committed to enhancing that, deepening students' engagement and expanding student learning opportunities. This chart takes all subjects, all grades, and combines them together. Again, looking at trends over time. You see continuously Richmond outperforms our peers, the state, and the Greater Detroit. Richmond students have consistently outperformed their peers on all of our subject areas. Are we at the top in all of them? No. Do we have room for improvement? Yes. But the trends consistently show we are improving. A steady rise in proficiency rates is a testament to the dedicated educators we have before us in our district, our students, and the families that all foster a culture of learning. The future is bright at Richmond Community Schools, and our schools are ready and are moving forward. Another assessment we look at is the NWA, the Northwest Evaluation Association assessment, often referred to as NWA. It is a nationally recognized research-based tool that measures growth and proficiency in many areas, particularly in reading and math. NWA is adaptive, adjusts questions to the difficulty based on students' response, and is a more personalized, accurate measure of a student's learning progress. For over 11 years, Richmond Community Schools has used NWA data to guide instruction, curriculum planning, and targeted interventions for students. This chart gives you an example of what 10 years can do. In the spring of 2014 versus spring of 2024, the NWA highlights a decade of growth and a deepening focus on literacy in Richmond schools. Students have shown strong improvements, especially in the early grades where the foundation of reading skills are built. Their gains reflect the impact of interventions, targeted instructions, and a commitment to student success. While the progress is encouraging, the data also reveals opportunities for growth in upper grades where reading development tends to slow. Just to point on this, the diamond on there is the target, where kids should end the year. The bar is how much growth students have and how many students have met that. So when you look at this chart, you can see the significant gains we have made as a district measuring our kids in the spring assessment. When you look at the math, the spring of 2014 to the spring of 2024, again, you can see a decade of growth and improvement. Every grade level met their target. That couldn't be said 10 years ago. Early grades show strong gains reflecting the impact of foundational skills, enhancing curriculum and targeted intervention to build math confidence as well as problem-solving skills. While progress is clear, upper grades present opportunities for continued growth. Our second area is student enrollment and state funding. As I said earlier, student enrollment is also like the stock market. Every year we have fluctuations. We have ups and we have downs. Every district experiences that. But rather than react to short-term shifts, a strong school system focuses on long-term growth that fosters engagement, innovation, and excellence. The best investment, whether in finance or education, is prioritizing sustained returns, ensuring students benefit from a stable, enriched learning environment. Strong educational investments drive enrollment. When families see districts expanding opportunities, enhancing programs, and focusing on successes, they are more likely to stay. However, federal and state funding must remain at the levels that support the high-quality instructions our students deserve, ensuring continuous growth and achievement for all. The enrollment charts before you reflect a steady, long-term increase in student enrollment in our district, demonstrating the district's growing appeal and a commitment to academic excellence. While enrollment experiences fluctuations in the early years, the overall trend is consistent growth, particularly in the most recent years. This positive trajectory highlights the district's ability to attract and retain families by expanding academic programs, enhancing student support services, and fostering a strong, inclusive school community. This is a student's gain, a chart that shows the students' gains in Richmond Community Schools. And the growing appeal beyond just our traditional borders, attracting students from a more diverse range of homeschool districts than ever before. In 2014, Richmond primarily enrolled students from the immediate area, but over the last 2 years has seen a significant increase in students choosing Richmond Community Schools from neighboring communities. This shift reflects the district's strong academic programs, our expansion in career and technical education program, and our commitment to student success, making Richmond a top choice for families to seek high-quality education. While it's important to understand where students come from, it's equally important to understand where students go. These charts indicate areas where our students have left our districts. The charts show a shift from 2014, with families choosing more of a diverse range of schools to go to. By analyzing these patterns, Richmond can enhance programs, strengthen student retention, and better meet our family needs. Note the increase in the number of small circles representing more school districts drawing our students, which may raise the question, why? As this migration pattern shows, families are no longer just choosing neighboring districts. An increasing number of them are relocating farther away for various reasons. This may include job opportunities, housing availability, specialized academic program, or personal circumstances. Again, understanding these migration patterns helps the district adapt to shifting demographics, enhance program offering, and strengthen student retention efforts. A quality early childhood experience builds the foundation for lifelong success, fostering cognitive, social, and emotional development. Children in a well-structured program enter school more prepared with stronger language, math, and problem-solving skills. Before and after school childcare is equally vital, providing safe, nurturing spaces for students outside of school hours. These programs support working families and reinforce learning. The preschool enrollment trends from 2014-15 to the present reflect growing commitment to early childhood education. Across programs like 3-year-old preschool, 4-year-old preschool, our Great Start Readiness program, and our early childhood special education program, families continue to seek strong educational foundations for their children. The 3-year-old program has remained stable. The 4-year-old program enrollment peaked in 21-22 before adjusting in recent years, reflecting families' evolving needs and the importance of offering flexible offerings. The largest growth has been in the GSRP program, expanding in 2014 and peaking in 2023-24, highlighting the demand for the state-supported early childhood program. Oftentimes, this is the preschool for all that you might hear on the news. Similarly, our ES early childhood special education enrollment has grown, reinforcing the district's commitment to supporting young children with special needs. The child care enrollment from 2014-15 to the present reflects a steady growth and a rising commitment to early childhood education and child care. Since 2021, enrollment has surged, reaching 163 students enrolled in today, driven by a focused quality child care, all due for the child care employees that are working in that area. Let's talk about high school options, as 12th grade and the end of high school is the culmination of their K-12 experience. Providing diverse high school options is essential to ensuring that all students have an opportunity to explore their interests, develop their strengths, and prepare for the future. At Richmond Schools, we are committed to offering extensive academic pathways that empower students to achieve their goals, whether they want to attend college, enter the workforce, or gain specialized skills. The International Academy of Macomb offers Richmond High Schools a rigorous, globally focused international baccalaureate degree. Admissions is highly competitive, with Richmond's allocated 2 to 3 seats annually through the county-wide application. Consistently ranking in the nation's top high schools, the IAM fosters critical thinking, intercultural understanding, and real-world problem solving. The Early College of Macomb offers students a tuition-free opportunity to earn a high school diploma as well as an associate's degree. In partnership with Macomb Community College, the ECM helps students ease the transition to higher education, saving on tuition, and gaining valuable college experiences, all while staying engaged in their high school community. The enrollment data shows steady Richmond participation with a dip in 2018 to 2020, followed by a peak in 23-24, reflecting a growing recognition of the Early College Macomb's academic and financial benefits. Dual enrollment. Dual enrollment provides high school students an opportunity to earn college credits while still completing their high school education. Through a partnership with Macomb Community College and St. Clair Community College, Richmond students could take tuition-free courses, allowing them to the college level work, exploring potential careers, and reducing future college expenses. When you look at the data here, the data shows a steady dual enrollment participation with a slight dip in 18 to 20, followed by strong culminating in a sharp rise in this school year. Advanced placement courses offered through the College Board allows students to challenge their thinking academically, improving their application, and, by passing the AP exam, potentially reducing future college tuition costs. The rigorous courses prepare students for higher education by fostering critical thinking, in-depth analysis, and subject mastery. The data here shows AP participation early on, a slight decline, and a rebound this school year. Career and technical education prepares students for today's evolving workforce by combining academics with hands-on experiences. These programs develop technical skills, problem-solving abilities, and career readiness in high-demand fields. Whether students are entering the workforce, pursuing apprenticeships, or continuing their education, CT provides a strong foundation of success. At Richmond Schools, our goal remains that 100% of our graduates participate and complete a CTE-focused course. The career and technical education program have experienced steady growth, reflecting increased enthusiasm and a career-focused learning. The rise highlights the values of education, the values of hands-on education in preparing our students for high-demand careers. The enrollment in CTE programs shows a steady increase in student participation, highlighting again the recognition of career-focused learning pathways. Programs like culinary arts, computer programming, and marketing have experienced consistent growth, demonstrate strong student interest in these high-demand careers. Additionally, programs such as our EMT and heavy equipment repair continue to grow, reflecting the district's commitment to these industries. Let's talk about state funding for a minute. Michigan's per pupil funding formula is the only discretionary fund that our Richmond School Board controls that supports instruction, staff, and classroom resources. In contrast, categorical funds such as Section 31A at risk come with spending restrictions, reporting requirements, and very limited flexibility. However, per pupil funds are often politically driven, annually determined by lawmakers, balancing economic conditions, policy priorities, and competing budgets. This uncertainty makes long-term planning for our district very difficult. To ensure stable and equitable funding, I encourage educators, families, and communities to stay engaged with the legislative process. As this chart shows, over time, our per pupil funding has increased, at minimal at best, barely keeping pace with the rising costs and contractual obligations, even in recent years. While funding has an upward trend, it has not kept up with inflation or the growing demands on schools, making it increasingly difficult to sustain competitive salaries, quality program, and essential services for students. Without meaningful investments, schools will struggle to recruit and retain staff, ultimately impacting student learning and the future of public education. In the recently release of the governor's school aid budget, she increased the per pupil foundation from $9,608 to $10,000, which seems like a substantial increase. However, funding over time, when you look at it, the annual increase students have received is 1.68% in their per pupil allocation. To put this in a different perspective, imagine a household that has $50,000 a year. A 1.68% increase is about $840. Now spread that $840 over a 52-week period. That equates to $16 a week. That's not even enough to cover a tank of gas, an increased utility bill, or the rising cost of groceries. Similarly, the small increases in school funding fail to keep up with the essential expenses, including health care, supplies, electricity, and fuel. Which leads me into the management of the funds. Being fiscally responsible with our taxpayer funds is essential to ensure that Richmond Community Schools continues to provide a high-quality education while maintaining transparency and accountability. By carefully overseeing expenditures, we ensure that every dollar is effectively used to support student learning, school operations, and long-term district needs, all while honoring the trust placed upon us by our community. This portion of the presentation will focus on the three major funds in our district: Food Service Fund, the Non-Bond Capital Projects Fund, and the General Fund. The Food Service Fund is a self-sustaining account dedicated to providing nutritious meals for students every day, operating under the state and federal guidelines. The chart here illustrates a steady increase in both breakfast and lunch participation over the years, demonstrating a growing reliance on school meal programs. Lunch has consistently remained higher than breakfast, but both trends show a positive growth, particularly in the most recent years. The sharp increase in 2024 suggests a greater need for meals programs, possibly due to economic factors, and an increase in awareness of available services. The food service revenue and expenses show steady increases in both, reflecting on a growing demand, again, for the meal service program and rising costs. Key investments that we've made include additional staff, higher wages, and rising food prices. Ensure that we receive quality nutritional meals for our students. While revenue has kept pace with expenses, continued federal support and state support is essential for maintaining this viable program. The non-bond capital projects fund is used for facilities improvements, technology upgrades, and other items not covered by bonds, or not currently covered by bonds. For the past 4 years, Richmond Schools has strategically allocated funds to address infrastructure technology needs without relying solely on bonds. The non-bond capital projects funds has supported major purchases including bus replacement to a tune of about $400,000 to date and another $150,000 planned for next year. Computer and copier replacements to a tune of $130,000 and file servers of $150,000. The funds also set aside money to replace the field turf in the future, as promised to the voters in 2019. Today, $300,000 is setting aside for that future replacement when the field turf is beyond its life expectancy. The general fund is the primary operating budget for Richmond Community Schools. It covers essentially expenses that directly impact student learning and school operations, such as instructional costs, student support services, operations and maintenance, transportation, extracurricular activities and athletics, and administration and staffing. The general fund revenue and expenses reflect a strong financial stewardship while with steady revenues growing in alignment with expenses. The responsible budget assures consistent investment in our student success, support staff, and facility improvements while maintaining financial stability. By strategically allocating resources, the district remains a good steward of the taxpayer dollars, demonstrating a commitment to transparency and long-term sustainability. A strong general fund balance is essential for ensuring stability and long-term sustainability in Richmond. Think of the fund balance as your savings account. It's money you put aside or you haven't spent, left over in a month that you haven't spent, that at some point you're going to need. Maybe the boiler's going to go or a roof needs to be replaced. As this chart indicates, the district's fund balance has steadily grown, demonstrating responsibility of fiscal management and strategic planning. In your own household budget, expenses should be less than your revenue. So every year, we should be putting more into our savings, which would make the fund balance always a growing opportunity. A healthy fund balance allows the district to navigate economic uncertainties, absorb unexpected costs, and maintain educational programs without the immediate budget impacts or disruptions. Additionally, a fund balance helps eliminate the need to borrow to meet payroll, keeping more money in the classrooms rather than spending it on interest payments. The fiscal indicator score provides a critical measure of the financial health of a school district, assessing multiple factors and determining their level of financial stability. The 10-point scale ranges from 0 to 10, with 0 indicating no distress and 10 representing significant financial challenges. A low score reflects strong financial management, ensuring the district can sustain operations, invest in student programs, and respond to economic uncertainties without drastic costs. Richmond continues to be on a strong path of financial stability, demonstrating responsible budgeting and strategic planning as indicated in the past 4 years, maintaining a 1 or 0 score. Richmond has consistently demonstrated exceptional financial management as evidenced by independent audits conducted by Yo and Yo CPAs every year, which have resulted in an unqualified opinion year after year. It's the highest rating you can get from an auditor, confirming that the district's financial records are accurate, transparent, and in full compliance with all accounting standards. This ensures taxpayers' dollars are being managed wisely and allocated effectively to support our students, our staff, and district operations. I want to talk a little bit about future challenges going forward and opportunities. Public schools face an ongoing challenge that is driven by student enrollment trends, state and national economic conditions, and funding uncertainties. Enrollment fluctuations influenced by economic shifting, housing trends, birth rates directly impact our per pupil funding, the primary source of the operational revenue for the district. Additionally, rising retirement costs for educators places a financial strain on the district, requiring careful budgeting and in order to sustain competitive salaries, benefits, and classroom resources, while ensuring long-term financial stability. I'm going to give you an example of one of our challenges that we're facing, which is in the news today. As I said several weeks ago, Governor Whitmore released her school aid budget. And since then, the House of Representatives has introduced their school aid budget. For this example, I'm going to focus on the governor's budget, because there's more details about that than on the House. In her proposal, the per pupil allocation would increase to $10,000 per pupil, up from the $9,608. Keeping in mind that last year, charter schools received a per pupil increase, while public schools did not receive that for now 2 consecutive years. This is the first time in Michigan history that charter schools are receiving more per pupil funding than public schools. Now let's take a look at the financial impact of this budget on the district. The green chart on the left represents the current district salaries of about $11.2 million and the retirement costs of 31.25%, or approximately $3.1 million. After accounting for the state's one-time retirement offset money, known as Section 147, the district's retirement cost for 24-25 school year is estimated about $2.3 million. These 147 funds are provided to the district to reduce the burden. Now turn to the chart on the right. If we assume the same salaries next year, the governor would lower the retirement rate from 31.25 to 28.02, reducing the retirement cost to $3.1 million, a slight decrease from the current year. However, after factoring the retirement offset funds, the district's retirement cost for 25-26 would actually increase to $2.5 million, nearly a $200,000 more expense next year than we had this year. This means that out of the governor's $392 per pupil increase, $113 of it is already absorbed by retirement cost increase. And this example assumes no salary increases next year. In reality, the district has existing contracts. It's currently negotiating new contracts with the educational paraprofessionals and soon to be with the secretaries and teachers, all set to expire at the end of this school year. So now let's take a common sense look at the governor's budget. The chart on the left is the green chart, exactly identical from the slide previous. It represents the salaries and retirement costs with no changes. The orange slide, right, illustrates the plausible salaries expected next year. While the retirement rate stays the same at 28.02, the total expenses in revenue rises to $3.2 million due to increased salaries. Higher salaries, you have paid more on the retirement. After factoring in the 147 on the state, the net retirement cost for our district is $2.7 million. That's an increase of $33,000 over this year's cost. Taken into when factored against the governor's $392 per pupil increase, it now realistically is more like $214 of that is already taken away for the increase in retirement cost, or 54%, almost 55% of that per pupil increase. It's shifting funding from one source to another with not really increasing the funding. While budgets and per pupil remains our challenges, we have a lot of optimism and future opportunities in our district. Amidst these challenging, we have these opportunities that exist. A future millage proposal presents a chance to expand our facilities and accommodate student growth and enhance the learning opportunities. Our community has the opportunity to approve a no-increase millage and expand our schools for current and future growth. Investing in our schools will help us remain competitive and attract families. As previously mentioned, enrollment trends continue to rise, reflecting a growing appeal for Richmond Community Schools. In fact, according to an enrollment projections report by the Michigan Alliance for Student Opportunities, the district is expected to experience in the next 5 to 10 years almost a 16 to 20% increase, regardless of the statistical model that they use, which evaluates birth rates, death rates, migration patterns, etc. This steady increase highlights the need for long-term planning and investment in our facilities to accommodate that future growth. There's a lot of numbers here, but basically this is a 10-year projection. And again, when you look at it 10 years out, it's a 16% increase, which is about 300 additional students to Richmond Community Schools. That's half of the enrollment at Lee Elementary School. This anticipated growth raises a critical question: where are we going to put all of these students, given our limited physical space and classroom space? Without strategic planning, overcrowding could restrain resources and impact class sizes, limiting programming availability. Even with the 2019 building addition at Lee Elementary School, enrollment growth in preschool program and K-3 classrooms has already filled many of those additional classrooms. As Richmond continues to experience the enrollment projection growth and experience its increase, our current facilities are reaching capacity. Only classrooms on the next 3 slides that are highlighted in yellow are available classrooms for direct instruction. Doesn't mean that they're not being used, that they are available for a classroom. And at Lee, we have 3 classrooms left. 5 years ago, we added 10 classrooms to Lee Elementary School. The middle school is completely out of classrooms. Every classroom is being utilized for instruction. Expansion is critical as that growing population in the elementary school continues to move up through to the 12th grade as they enter middle school. The demand for additional space will only intensify. With increased overall building enrollment, not to mention increased CTE programs, physical space at the high school is also becoming increasingly limited, just as it was at the elementary school. As more students take advantage of the CTE programs, additional space is needed to support the hands-on learning and CTE career-focused instruction. So let me explain and talk about the voter-approved bond that is our opportunity. To accommodate Richmond's growing enrollment and to ensure that we have adequate space for future A voter-approved bond would be essential to put expansions on all 3 buildings. With the elementary classrooms already at capacity, middle school completely out of space, and the high school enrollment and additional classrooms are critical for student success. Pending the Board of Education's approval of the Michigan Department of Education Treasury bond application, as well as ballot language, our district's residents will have an opportunity on November 4th to approve the sale of $51.5 million in bonds. If approved, the bond sale is projected to generate an additional $400,000 in capitalized interest, bringing the total available funds for building expansions and improvement to $51.78 million. Again, these funds would be critical for building expansions and to accommodate future growth. We talk how this impacts you directly as a community. After the millage rate reductions in July of 23 and 24, and I challenge you to go back to your tax bills, you will see a drop in the millage rate in July of 23 as well as July of 24. And another one that is expected in July of 26. Voters in November would be asked to continue the current rate, no increase, to generate the needed funds. This means that the district can secure the $51.78 million for classroom expansions and improvement without increasing any taxes to the district residents. The district remains committed to gathering stakeholders and ensuring that we have open, honest, transparent discussions through various means. We've done multiple Board of Education presentations and will continue to do them this coming April and May. The district newsletter in January featured 3 pages regarding this and went out to 8,000 households in the district, and another one scheduled for July. Letters and informational mailings will be sent to our families and community members explaining this. We've held multiple community conversations with the superintendent, one just last night, and another one scheduled in April. We've done dine and discuss with staff members at all 3 buildings, with the last one being tomorrow. These efforts, we want to make sure all stakeholders know about this, are informed about this, and have the opportunity to share their perspective on this. The district has added information on the no proposed increased millage on the district's website. This website allows community members to ask questions, view past, current, and projected enrollments, projections by the Michigan Alliance for Student Opportunities, understand the millage rate and what their impact would be on them. It also has the YouTube videos of board meeting presentations, as well as copies of all communication that has gone out to the community. Our commitment is to make sure the community is informed on the facts in order for them to make the best decision for their family and their community in general. Our mission is to provide a quality education that empowers students for success in a global community. Over the years, Richmond Community Schools has been home to hundreds of success stories, many of which go unrecognized and uncelebrated. But recognition is not what defines us. Richmond is a family, a school community that works hard, perseveres, and challenges through and supports one another. But rather than hear from me, why not hear from our parents and staff?
I'm Laura Ottenbecker. I'm a Great Start Readiness Program teacher that teaches 4-year-old preschool. It's the free preschool for all initiative, and I'm really excited to be a part of this community.
Edward Delore, Social Studies, High School, Richmond.
My name is Heidi Manguni, and I'm the principal here at Lee Elementary.
I'm Michelle Gerard. I'm the head cook at Willa Lee Elementary School. I've been for 24 years now.
My name is Jennifer Rinke, and I am a school bus driver here at Richmond Community Schools, and I also am the middle school security monitor.
My name is Paul Knight. I am the Dean of Students here at Richmond Middle School.
Okay, my name is Brandon Day, and I teach social studies and physical education.
Yeah, I'm Mark Ladd, and I'm a social studies teacher, teach the AP courses here, government econ and such things at Richmond High.
And my name is Margaret Telto, and I am on the school board. I am currently the vice president, and I've been on the board for 23 years.
Christy Crampton. I am a 7th and 8th grade middle school math teacher. Sean Misko. I'm one of the math teachers here at the high school, and then I'm the head varsity football coach and then assistant wrestling coach.
My name is Jamie Clausen, and I'm the teacher consultant for special education for Richmond Community Schools.
There's so many things that makes Richmond special and unique. First and foremost, I would say that Richmond is a community that supports each other. Whether it be outside of the school or inside of the school, we are always there for each other. But when it comes to the schools specifically, that same thing happens here with the staff and the teachers and the administrators. Everybody has a purpose, everybody is valued, and everyone has the same common goal, is for what's best for kids.
Well, we have a great staff here. Not only do we have a great staff, we have a student body that is just a pleasure to work with. And then more importantly, we have a great community. I mean, Richmond's got a great community that supports its staff, students, and what we do here.
Well, what I've always enjoyed about the district is the way they always put the kids first. Everything we do and we change, and 'cause it's been lots of change, but the focus has always been on what's best for the kids, and I've always found that to be a great asset here.
Just watching our kids have the successes that they have, whether it's in academics or arts or CTE or athletics, just watching that success that they have. Then I'm also very proud of our staff here and the commitment that they have made to our kids, making us the best building that we can be. And then I'm also very proud of our community, because I think it takes all of us to make things work within our district, and to have the type of parent commitment that we have just really makes a difference.
What makes me proud is just how great the district is and what we have done over the years to bring new things in for our kids, whether it's our CTE programs, our athletics, our music, theater. It's just really exciting to be a part of that and make the district great.
What makes me proud is I get to be a part of the lives of the students that get on my bus, and I get to build relationships with these kids, and I get to create smiles.
It's so rewarding to see the kids come in the kitchen and get excited over what we're serving for the day. We offer fresh fruits now, like fresh kiwi, apples straight from Blake's farm. They deliver it themselves. Homemade mac and cheese. Things that the students enjoy, they ask for. When they come in, they ask for these items. We're on our way to introducing all homemade foods. We want to try to have all homemade foods. Meals that are healthy as well as tasty.
I love that it's a small community where everyone treats each other as family. We all support each other and have each other's back.
There are so many things, but the first thing that comes to mind is the partnership with the community and the parents. We have a really solid partnership. We get a lot of involvement, and we have the community that comes in and partners with us with our children's education, with outside events, and with all of that. So I really like the partnership that we have in our small community. So we have a lot of support from outside.
You know, as a Richmond alum, I think the biggest thing for me is kind of the sense of family that we have here. You know, I really feel like as a district, we've kind of valued kind of each individual kid for their strengths, and you know, try to encourage individual growth. And I think that we do a really, really good job at, you know, prioritizing each kid's individual experience.
I'm proud to work at Richmond Community Schools because to me, Richmond is family. And just like families that are full of love and support, that's what you get when you come to Richmond.
When I first started at Richmond Community Schools, we had 2 preschool classrooms. Now we have 7. Our administrators value the early childhood education, which is amazing for our district, for our community, for our everyone. And I'm just really looking forward to continuing to do that and to prepare our kids for kindergarten. And our staff here is high quality, bachelor's degrees, higher education, and we're just really excited to continue to offer high quality education for Richmond Community Schools.
I'd like to see, you know, continue hiring of more great teachers that we have here, and young, energetic staff that want to be involved and coach and get involved in CT and just continue that path.
Well, the number one thing that comes to mind is, again, as we continue to change and evolve, which you have to, we've got this great opportunity, this no increased millage that's coming up, that we can do even more things for our district, which will, again, give our kids more opportunity to compete and just be better students and people.
We've done a lot of exciting things as far as, you know, advancing technology, building improvements. So in the next couple of years to see where all that goes as we kind of get to, into the next phase of what, we want to accomplish here. I'm really excited about that because the growth has been awesome. The improvements have been awesome. And I kind of want to see it finish out, and see where we're going, because we offer more for kids than we ever have. We're in better shape financially than we've ever been. And our facilities are unbelievable compared to what they were a decade ago. So just to kind of see that fulfillment, I'm excited about that.
I think Richmond is a sleeping giant with tons of potential to not only just be the best district in Macomb County, but to be the best district in the Tri-County area.
Well, I'm looking forward to the district growing. Our enrollment is increasing, and we are thinking about more things that we can bring to the school district for our students along the line of robotics, maybe all the way through K through 12, just things that improve and give our kids a better education.
The growth and the new programs that are being offered for our students between the high school and the middle school with the CTE and new electives that we're offering gives them an opportunity to explore and find new passions.
Well, something that's been really fun is watching some of the bond renovations. We have state-of-the-art facilities, so I'm excited about that continuing and the things that we continue to have up and coming. I'm also excited to see the growth of students. We have been #1 in Macomb County in math and reading here at Lee Elementary. Our students continue to raise the bar and be at the top proficiency in the state and the county, so I'm excited to see where we're going to keep going.
A lot of things. I have 2 younger kids in the district, and I think probably the biggest thing is just kind of continuing to see, academically and athletically the district grow and improve. I think we've made some really, really big strides over the last 5-6 years, and I'm looking forward to that continuing.
I'm excited for the future of our district, not only due to the new curriculum that we have, the technology, and the buildings growing in size, but I'm also looking forward to the amount of families that are making Richmond their first choice.
I love the community of the district. I love how everybody comes together, how you see parents in here all the time helping with all the events we do, how teachers are the most amazing. They'll reach out to you for anything. I love the community of it, how everybody is just so friendly and everybody is together.
I've seen lots of growth through the years with classes, opportunities, and just look forward to my youngest is in 5th grade, and I see lots of opportunities for them with their classes in the future.
What we really like most is the tight-knit communities here within the schools. We like all the activities that all the teachers do. So it seems like all the schools, whether it's the middle school or the elementary, a lot of the activities are always being done. So it's really nice for the kids to enjoy school and get involved. And so that's one of the things that we like most.
Just continuing to see the students grow and learn, and just a sense of community overall with all of the school districts.
Watching my children grow and learn and become successful adults from our amazing community and staff.
As evidenced here tonight, Richmond Community Schools continues to fulfill that mission, proudly educating past generations, embracing the opportunities to shape today's students, and looking forward to welcoming the future Blue Devils. Thank you.